Hello, dear students. Hope you all are doing well in your life. So, this video is belonging to class 8, and today we are going to start with a new chapter. We will discuss about it, what we are going to discuss in this module. But before that, you have two pictures in front of you. You have to simply, write in the comment box that what you have understand after looking at this picture, right? So, you have 3 seconds. You can write on the comment section. Meanwhile, yes. So, here we are very much clear with this pictures, two pictures, that there is a term called family is showing. First one is human family and second one is what? Penguin's family, right? Now, a question arises why we have seen this pictures, right? If there are two kinds of pictures, like animal pictures having their family, then human pictures having their family again. So this family comes with a term called reproduction. How we can generate our own species generation after generation is what? Reproduction. Okay, so with this we come to understand that in today's video we are going to start with chapter 9, that is reproduction in animals, right? So now let's moving forward and see what is there in the keywords that we are going to discuss in this module. Well, in this module we are going to learn with definition of reproduction, then types of reproduction and example of reproduction. Now see, there is a picture of family of a monkey hugging their cute kid, right? So this reproduction, like the mother and the father after some time wants their own children, no matter if they belong to human family or some other organism family, right? But every certain time we always as a parents required our own children. Okay, so this can be possible only with a process called reproduction. So with this we can define reproduction as it is a process through which an organism is capable of forming or giving birth to their own species generation after generation. Okay, so in this process an organism is capable of producing their own kind of organism, like their own kind of species. If I am a human, I can be able to reproduce human structures only, human organism only. If someone is belonging to monkey family or someone is belonging to butterfly family, okay, so they can be only able to reproduce their own kind of species. So we can say that it is a process through which an organism is capable of forming or giving birth to their own species generation after generation. Means it is a continuous process. It always goes generation after generation in order to continue their own kind of breed. Okay. So I hope it is clear to you what is the definition of reproduction by this time. Now moving towards next. As you can see, there are two columns made for types of reproduction. So with this, our next topic is types of reproduction. As there are two columns made, so with this we can understand that there are two types of reproduction. Okay. First one is asexual reproduction. Now what is asexual reproduction? In the asexual reproduction, first take example of Hydra amoeba, paramecium, anything. Okay. So these are called single-celled organisms. You know na? These are called single-celled organisms. In class 7, you have also read about the single-celled organism. Why they are called single-celled organism? Because in the class 7, you have already understand that single-celled organism having one single cell for everything. They used to eat from that cell. They used to excrete from that cell. They used to, reproduce also from that one single cell. Okay, and we falls under multicellular organism. Now, in this module, in this reproduction chapter, the single-celled organism means something different. This means that in asexual reproduction, only one parent or one gamete is involved or one cell is involved to reproduce their own kind of species. Okay, so you can say that here only the mother cell is required, no father cell is required at all. Okay, and after some time they split themselves with the daughter cell. And this is a kind of reproduction falls under asexual reproduction. So we can define asexual reproduction as the mode of reproduction in which only single cell is required. For example, Hydra, amoeba, paramecium and so on. I hope this is clear to you by this time. Now moving towards next, we have sexual reproduction. So now what is sexual reproduction? See, we are very good example of sexual reproduction. Now, it is just opposite to asexual reproduction. If asexual reproduction required only one single gamete, here you required with two gametes, that is male gamete and female gamete. Male gamete is known as sperms, okay, and female gamete is known as ovum, or you can say ova. Ovum is the singular form and ova is the plural form. Okay, so in this module of sexual reproduction, we can say that we can define it as the mode of reproduction in which two gametes are involved, that is the male gamete and the female gamete. The male gamete is known as sperm and the female gamete is known as ova or ovum, you can say. Okay, so now if someone asks you what is the example of sexual reproduction, you can say we humans. Yes, so humans are very good example of sexual reproduction. Moreover, as you can see in the picture, monkey also a good example of sexual reproduction. Dogs, cats, cow, etc. all are very good example of what? Sexual reproduction, because here two gametes involved, one male gamete and one female gamete. Okay. Now a question arises that what is the basic difference? How we can identify that a certain organism belongs to sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction, right? So it is very clear that if only single gamete is involved, there is less variation. Okay, and if two gametes are involved, there will be more variation in the offspring, or you can say that the coming organism. Okay. For example, if you take example of two daughter cell of amoeba, in asexual reproduction, the mother cell splits itself in binary fission. We will learn about it in depth in coming videos. So, the daughter the mother cell splits into what? Two daughter cells. Okay, and these two daughter cells are equally identical to each other. They have no difference at all. You cannot identify a single difference in between them. But in case of sexual reproduction, if we are reproducing two twins at a time, they also have very much difference in themselves. They will not going to be clone at all. They have even minor to major difference we can easily identify in the two twins we are having at that point of time. So due to indulging of two different gametes, two different DNA involves, and due to which more variation is found in sexual reproduction, and as only single gamete involved in asexual reproduction, so we can say that only very few kind of variation we can able to identify. Okay, so now I hope this is clear to you by this time. Now kids, it's the time for recapitulation. So your first question is define reproduction. Now let's revise again. What is reproduction? So it is a process through which an organism is able to reproduce of its own species. How or when? Generation after generation. Okay. Next is types of reproduction. There are two types of reproduction, right? We have just studied there are two types of reproduction. First one is called asexual reproduction and second one is called sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, only single gamete involved. In sexual reproduction, there are two gametes involved, that is male gamete and female gamete. The male gamete is known as sperm and the female gamete is known as ovum. Okay. So I hope by this time it is clear to you. Now the third question is, what are the example of different types of reproduction? So asexual reproduction's example will be, you can say amoeba, right? And here you can say human. So I hope this video will be helpful to you and you will be able to identify the different things, like what is the definition of reproduction, what are the types of reproduction, and what are the examples of different types of reproduction, right? So in the next video we will understand about this mode of reproduction in depth, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, how the process will go further, what are the types of example more than this, and what are the different kind of things involved in it. We will learn each and everything in depth in our next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.